There's a slightly underwhelming Bergfried Tower. Underwhelming once you're inside, I mean, but inside this building has those two nice floors of exhibitions, well lit, and I recommend definitely going in that one instead, unless you really want to get those views, which, yeah, the Bergfried Tower definitely has the advantage on the views up at the top. And I can't believe the light here. It feels, I mean, it's only 1:30, I think it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I would guess. And it feels like it's, I don't know, 7 o'clock on an early summer's evening. And what do we have on the other side of the wishing well? Don't know. Here, the timber-lined well of Turaida Castle, dug in the 15th century. The timber lining consists of round horizontal logs. Yep, we can see that. The only known example of a timber-lined well at a medieval castle in Latvia. There you go. 9 metres deep. It was filled up in the 18th century. Oh, wonder why. And was archaeologically excavated and restored in 1992. The well is in use today. Wow. I wonder who's brave enough to try the water. Maybe not me. A few more tourists showing up here and there. Let's go through here, shall we? And just see what there is. Oh, some works going on over to my left. Not allowed to go further straight ahead. And that's the very end of the grounds, and over the other side of that wall, I suspect, is quite a drop. The South Bailey, built in the 13th century. Crikey. And this is the hot air hypercaust furnace. This is the only part of the furnace, the only part of the only surviving part of the structure is the furnace that heated this building. There it is. Little graphic to show you. And is this just a little blind alley? A little nook. Heating installations of the tower-like south block. And again, I'm just feeling a couple of spots of rain on my face, even though I'm wearing my hat. So this might be a good time to pop indoors again. Where are we popping? Oh, looks a bit dark. It's just called the Tower-like South Block. Okay, well, let's take a look. Open till 8 in the evening. Nice old metal door. Ah, hokey cokey. Interesting, they got some animal prints on the old bricks. In the walls of the southern block, there were built curious bricks which had been made in Turaida and bore footprints of domestic animals and poultry. 119 bricks of that kind were found in the ruins of the collapsed upper part of the tower. Those are dogs and cats' footprints. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. It's one of those things where I'm not sure at all if you can step on it, and I don't think I'd like to try. I'm not the heaviest man in the tower, but even so, I might go straight through. So give that one a miss as well. And this is just one floor on show. After the devastating fire of 1776, the tower was not renewed. Aha! So it stood for about 200 years. And then there was a fire. Was it that faulty furnace, I wonder? Did somebody decide, oh, let's put some heating in? That'd be nice to warm the place up in the winter, wouldn't it? Oh, lovely, yes. Let's do that. And then there was a fire. And not just a fire, but a devastating one, which we can see from this picture up here. It really is like completely rebuilt here, isn't it? The wall and that southern tower structure. Ah. Oh no, rain. Bugger. Meanwhile, back in the sculpture park, we've got some equine influence here. I'm not altogether convinced that this second face is that of a horse. Not at all. Looks more like the dimensions of a cow, perhaps. But who knows what was in the artist's mind. The rain stops, waits for me to get the camera out, and then it begins again. But it is very light, so I'm hoping I can get away with it a little bit. Odd-looking lady. There are a few around, you know. Probably got some odd-looking men coming up as well. Present company accepted, obviously. I thought that was a figure of a man from a distance. The closer I get to it, the less I'm convinced it is, but I think maybe, just maybe, baby. And there's something curled up over there. A woman with her head tilted. But why? There are usually little name plaques denoting the name of the piece of the artwork, as well as the sculptor, but for some reason I'm not seeing any on display. Yes, now where were we? Got the umbrella back up. Yeah, I was wondering about the credentials of the sculptures, who the sculptor was, or what who the sculptures were, was my first thought. The more I'm looking at it, the more I'm inclined to think it's from pieces from the same school of sculptors, or same school of sculpture. I don't know what you think. Of course, that doesn't mean it's just one sculptor or one sculptor and his students who each worked under the master's guidance. Perhaps his stewardship of the school led him to oversee the work of the students, and his influence impacted the work of those students to such a degree that they've ended up with, in some cases, his signature mark attached to them. That all sounds very made up and poncy, doesn't it? Trying to sound like I know what I'm talking about, and of course I don't know what I'm talking about. However, it was just an impression that I got. Don't know what you think. Perhaps you've got some other views. Let me know. Write in the comments down below if you have another opinion on these sculptures. I'm coming over to this collection of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and there was 12. There was 13. There were 13 trees. Oh, there's money and an apple. How strange. 13 trees in a circle, is that right, if I counted it right? What was it all about? Ooh, I'm in, forgive the pun, I'm in tree. Oh God, that's a dreadful pun, isn't it? Really dreadful. Pretend I didn't say it. I think we've got 2 corpses over here. I'll just check out in case I need to report a crime to the authorities. Do we have 2 corpses here? 2 corpses, 2 mangled corpses, 2 curled up in fetal position figures. Yes. Well, it's Baltic sculpture work, that's what it is. Should I say at its finest? Maybe. But as I don't know what I'm talking about, perhaps I should hold back from saying that, because I don't know if this is Baltic sculpture work at its finest and if it has all the hallmarks of Latvian sculpture. Yeah, he's curious as well, isn't he? And we got a man with a big beard. But all these men with the same swept-back hair, big bushy moustache and big beards, they all look the same, don't they? I mean, is it Karl Marx? Who could say for sure? The sculptor, probably. Oh, his eyes follow you around the room. Oh no, we're not in the room. His eyes follow you around the park. No, you silly man. No. Oh, gosh. There we are. Actually, the rain has really brought out the detail there. If that doesn't sound too ridiculous, but honestly, to my eye anyway, the rain has actually had an effect on bringing out the face of that man's figure rather well, I think. Now I could go down some wooden steps over there and walk around a bit, and it'd bring me out onto the road, and it's a bit of a shortcut. But now that it's raining, I'm thinking about, I wonder if I should get that bus to Sigulda. It's got a feeling that this rain has set in, and my toes are already wet because I'm only wearing sneakers. Should I have worn the hiking boots? Well, they're not really hiking boots, and the right foot one leaks anyway, so I'm not sure there was too much to be gained by wearing those shoes today. Has the rain brought out any more clarity, definition on that piece? I don't think so. Okay, I think I've seen enough of the sculpture, and I'm going to put the camera away somewhere nice and dry to try and preserve the mechanisms. and the video footage I've shot already. Right, I wonder where I'll see you next. Well, I'll be jiggered. Suddenly a giant leap from Turaida Castle to Sigulda bus and train station. Basically, the rain just came down and it was clear it was going to be persistent and lasting for quite a while. So under the circumstances, even though I really wanted to walk back to Sigulda, that would have allowed me to have taken in a couple of extra sites like the new palace or castle, however you want to call it, as well as the fractured I can't say the word, the fractured remnants of an earlier castle, much earlier castle. That just wasn't viable. I saw the outline of the new palace coming up from the small minibus I took from Turaida, and no, the rain was just too heavy, and I thought, really, what is the point? So, always good to leave things for another time. It's been 20 years since I was here last, and maybe in another 20 years I'll come back and check out the new palace. Meanwhile, I'm not showing you everything there is to see and do by any stretch of the imagination in the Sigulda Gauja National Park, Krimulda, Turaida triangle, if you want to call it a triangle. No, so by all means come and investigate all the other options you've got. Take the cable car, do the adventure trips, the canoeing, the much longer hikes in the woodland, the bird watching trips, fishing if that's your thing, the camping possibilities, stay overnight, stay for a weekend, stay for a week if the weather's in your favour. Why not? And after Riga, it might make a nice change perhaps. If you've been overindulging slightly in the chocolates and the beverages, why not come and walk it off, get some fresh air in the Gauja National Park. From Turaida Castle, if you should happen to find yourself unfortunate with the weather, you can pick up one of the regular little marshrutka buses, the little mini buses, which run from Turaida to Sigulda, 70 euro cents, that's all. It really makes a difference. My toes are wet at the moment, but the whole lot of me would have been wet if I'd decided to be pig-headed and bullish and just did that walk, ground it out, as was my original plan. It's a bit of a shame, but anyway, now I'm here at the train station. We've seen the colourful bunny outside. Whether he's there just for Easter, I'm not sure. A bit late if he is, because Easter was a couple of months ago, but anyway, what do I know? It could be that painted colourful bunnies are the new painted colourful cows, more of which we will see in Ventspils in a few days' time. Here at the train station, it sort of doubles as tourist information, but there's a stand within the main hall of the train station, and you can pick up local maps and itineraries for hikes, the bobsleigh that you can do in the national park, and lots of pieces of information about brochure on the new palace, for example. That might be worth going to as a starting point if you come to Sigulda thinking, oh, what do I do now I'm here? If you haven't done any background work, then what you can do is just call in to the main hall, pick up some information so you can get your bearings and head out and do your thing for the day. I decided I'm going to get the train back to Riga, which is lovely. I bought myself a ticket already, €2, 10 cents. It would be foolish not to, wouldn't it? Hopefully it won't break down. Shouldn't do. The time is comparable to the bus. I'll be quite happy to be on that train. Meanwhile, I'll just be cooling my heels for a little while, trying to dry my toes, although that might not be possible in public. I have to wait till we get back to the hostel for that. I think we'll call it a day there and say see you tomorrow, or see you for the next video. Yeah, that will be feasting our eyes on architecture. I nearly said Art Nouveau architecture, but it will be lots of different styles of architecture, and definitely Art Nouveau architecture. That's a promise. And according to the weather forecast, no rain. So, fingers crossed. Bye from Gauja.